Ireland and Britain Conflict by Scott Knell and Naseem Salehi. English ruled over the island of Ireland dating back to the 12th century, and Queen Elizabeth I of England encouraged the large-scale immigration of Scottish Protestants in the 16th century. Since the 1880s, Irish nationalists have been pushing Britain to give them home rule. There is also another group pushing for Irish independence, but they are in the minority at this time. Britain government granted Ireland home rule in 1912.
In England, the Ulster Union formed an armed organization to resist this act.
The British Parliament passed the Third Home Rule Act on September 18, 1914, with an amending bill for the partition of Ireland introduced by the Ulster Unionists.
The act's implementation was immediately postponed by a suspensory act due to the outbreak of the First World War in the previous months.
Easter Rising was a plan to revolt against Britain and to form the Irish Republic. The British Army took action against it, and over 400 people died. Irish public was shocked and ashamed by Britain's actions against the revolt. This led to more citizens supporting the Sinn Féin political party, which supported the push for Irish independence.
In the 1918 election, Sinn Féin won 70% of the votes, and he pledged not to sit in the UK Parliament at Westminster, but rather to set up an Irish Parliament. It was known as the First Dáil.
The Irish War of Independence began on January 21st with an attack by the 3rd Tipperary Brigade of Irish Volunteers on members of the Royal Irish Constabulary at Solo Hedbeg Co. Tipperary.
This group of Irish volunteers took an oath of allegiance to the Dáil and became the Irish Republican Army. In 1919, the Irish Republican Army launched a widespread and effective guerrilla campaign against British forces.
These are some of the major events that happened during the war. Bloody Sunday was on a Sunday, November 21st in Dublin. The Irish Republican Army Counterintelligence Squad, acting on orders from Michael Collins, killed 11 members of a British spy network known as the Carrow Gang. On April 5th, Republican prisoners in Dublin's Mountjoy prison began hunger strikes to draw attention to the general state of affairs in Ireland and the refusal of the British government of David Lloyd George to recognize the Irish Republican Army as a belligerent entitled to have its members treated as prisoners of war. This led to the Irish Trade Union Congress calling for a general strike to protest the treatment of the Republican prisoners. Republican troops occupied the four courts in Dublin and other strongholds around the country. In 1921, a truce was called and treaty talks took place in London to try to find a way of ending the war. Michael Collins and Arthur Griffith were among the Irish representatives at the talks. In 1921, a ceasefire was declared, and in January 1922, a fraction of Irish nationalists signed a peace treaty with Britain, calling for the partition of Ireland, with the South becoming autonomous and the 6 northern countries of the island remaining in the United Kingdom. All was calm for several months. Civil War broke out December 6, 1922, and ended with the victory of the Irish Free State over the Irish Republican forces in 1923. A constitution adopted by the Irish people in 1937 declared Ireland to be a sovereign, independent, democratic state, and the Irish Free State was renamed Éire. Éire remained neutral during World War II, and in 1949, the Republic of Ireland Act severed the last remaining link with Commonwealth. Conflict persisted over Northern Ireland, however. The IRA, outlawed in the South, went underground to try to regain the northern countries still ruled by Britain. The violence between the Protestants and Catholics in Northern Ireland escalated in the early 1970s. To date, the fighting has claimed more than 3,000 lives.
In conclusion, although Ireland got its independence, civil war continued to cause problems in Ireland and continued the Irish and British conflicts until present day.